So the BBC and other outlets confirmed that Meghan, Sussex and their children, Archie and Lilibet, will not be travelling to London with Harry next week. Well, this week coming. And the security arrangements that were done for the London portion of the visit has not been resolved to a standard that makes their presence safe. Harry will go alone. There remains a possibility that the family might join him later in the week when the trip moves to Birmingham for the Invictus Games, as you guys know, but the London visit, the royal residence, the potential reunion with King Charles, that is up in the air. So I want to talk about what made this outcome inevitable and what it cost them. So the British press in particular that have hounded Meghan are now very upset that Meghan will not be coming to London, or may not even be coming at all, because at the end of the day, like I've said, and I've always said this, I will only believe what I see. Whatever is said, whatever's announced, the press are not to be trusted. So I will believe what I see. However, the British press has spent 6 whole years running, actually more than 6 years, 10 years, because the whole straight out of Compton nonsense started in 2016, 2017, when they knew that Meghan and Harry were dating. However, if me, as a bystander, can be this outraged at the headlines, at the terrorism, because it is stochastic terrorism, it's when they use the pen to just abuse and malign and lie. And it's constant. It's every day. They bring in experts, PR experts, branding experts, psychologists, body language people. Why? What is wrong with these people?
Welcome back to Sussex Royal Insider. Today's story isn't just about who is travelling to Britain next week. It's about something much bigger. It's about consequences. The BBC has confirmed that Prince Harry will travel to London alone, while Meghan, Archie and Lilibet will not accompany him for the London portion of the visit. There remains the possibility that the family could join him later in Birmingham for Invictus-related events. But for now, London is off the table. Now, before anyone rushes to twist this into another headline claiming Meghan is avoiding Britain or refusing to support Harry, let's ask the more important question. Why would a mother willingly keep herself and her children away from a country that was once their home? That question deserves an honest conversation, because this isn't simply about security officers or police protection. It's about trust. Trust in the environment, trust in the public atmosphere, trust that the people around you will see you as a human being instead of a target. And that trust has been broken for years. One thing I've noticed throughout this entire royal saga is how easily people separate headlines from consequences. They treat newspaper articles as harmless opinions. But words shape attitudes. Attitudes influence behaviour, and behaviour creates real-world outcomes. When negative narratives are repeated every single day for years, they don't simply disappear once the newspaper's recycled. They become part of public perception. Whether people want to admit it or not, media has extraordinary power. It influences what people fear, who they admire, who they distrust, who they blame. For nearly 6 years, Meghan has been one of the most relentlessly discussed women connected to the royal family. Not because she committed crimes, not because she held political office, but because virtually every aspect of her existence became content. Her clothes became headlines. Her body language became analysis. Her friendships became scandals. Her interviews became weeks of outrage. Even ordinary lifestyle choices somehow became national debates. Ask yourself honestly, how many public figures receive that level of microscopic attention every single week? Very few. And here's what fascinates me. Many of the same commentators who insist Meghan is irrelevant somehow continue producing multiple stories about her every single day. If someone truly no longer matters, why are they still driving the news cycle? The answer is obvious. Attention sells, outrage sells, clicks sell. Meghan has become one of the biggest traffic generators in royal media. Whether audiences support her or criticize her, they click, they watch, they comment, they share. And media companies understand that better than anyone. This creates an uncomfortable contradiction. Some outlets spend years arguing that Meghan is insignificant while simultaneously relying on her name to generate millions of views. Think about that. If she truly disappeared from public conversation tomorrow, entire sections of royal commentary would suddenly have very little to discuss. That's why every appearance becomes breaking news. Every rumour becomes a headline. Every photograph becomes analysis. Every silence becomes another story. Now, let's bring this back to the current situation. Harry is travelling. Meghan isn't. Immediately, some critics want people to believe this somehow proves division inside their marriage. But another interpretation deserves equal consideration. Perhaps this is simply a family making decisions based on their own assessment of risk. Parents make those decisions every day. If you believed your children might face unnecessary risks, would you insist they come anyway, simply to satisfy public expectations? Most parents wouldn't. And I don't think this situation should be viewed differently simply because the family happens to be famous. Harry has spoken publicly for years about security concerns. He's pursued legal action over protective arrangements because he believes the issue is serious. Whether people agree with every aspect of those legal arguments is beside the point. The important fact is that these concerns have remained consistent. This isn't a position that suddenly appeared overnight. It has been part of Harry's public position for years. So when the family decides not to bring Meghan, Archie and Lilibet to London, it fits into a pattern that has existed for a long time. That's not shocking. It's consistent. Now here's the irony that deserves more attention. For years, some sections of the media demanded that Meghan leave Britain. They questioned her motives, her loyalty, her intentions, her character. Now she isn't coming. And suddenly there is disappointment, speculation, questions, hours of television discussing why she won't be there. Can you see the contradiction? You cannot spend years telling someone they don't belong, and then act surprised when they stop showing up. Actions have consequences. Narratives have consequences. Public campaigns have consequences. If the atmosphere surrounding someone becomes overwhelmingly hostile, eventually they may choose distance instead of exposure. That isn't weakness. It's a rational decision many people would make under similar circumstances. Another point often overlooked is what this means for the royal family itself. Regardless of where anyone stands on Harry and Meghan, family occasions inevitably become more complicated when distance grows. Relationships become harder to rebuild. Children spend less time with grandparents. Shared memories become fewer. Everyone loses something. That's why this story feels bigger than one cancelled appearance. It's another reminder of how difficult reconciliation becomes when years of conflict are left unresolved. As for the media, there may also be a lesson here. Coverage built primarily around outrage may produce impressive numbers today, but over time it can also reduce access, damage trust, and narrow opportunities for genuine engagement. When every appearance becomes controversy, eventually there are fewer appearances to cover. Whether that affects audience interest over the long term remains to be seen, but it's a question worth asking. Harry will continue with his engagements. He'll attend meetings connected to the Invictus Games. He'll represent causes that clearly remain important to him. But one image many people expected simply won't happen. No family arrival, no photographs of Meghan in London, no pictures of Archie or Lilibet. And perhaps that's the clearest illustration of where this story now stands. Not anger, not revenge, just distance. Sometimes the loudest statement isn't made through an interview or a documentary. Sometimes it's made through absence. And that absence forces everyone to confront an uncomfortable question. What kind of environment has been created when someone believes staying away is the safest option? Whether you support Harry and Meghan or support the monarchy, that's a question worth thinking about carefully. Because beyond the headlines, beyond the politics, beyond the endless online arguments, there is a family making decisions they believe are best for themselves. History will ultimately judge whether Britain protected one of its most famous daughters-in-law, or whether years of relentless hostility helped create a divide that may take generations to repair. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think this decision is primarily about security, public perception, family dynamics, or something else entirely? Share your perspective respectfully in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we'll continue separating headlines from the bigger picture. Until next time, thank you for watching.